Matt, I know that your studio, like mine, is very big on phone calls. We've been
Hmm.
talking a lot about this. So, what is the single most important piece of information that you want to get when you're talking with somebody on that initial phone call?
I want to know their catalyst for calling us, and that says a lot about what their expectations are. I think I think that goes like kind of into marketing, but also just just business in general. Like we live in a business that we need to create catalysts for people to call us. Like people don't love going to the dentist and they don't love getting their picture taken for the most part until they're in our system and they realize it's not that bad and how amazing it is. But I want to know what the catalyst is, and it's amazing like some of the stories you'll hear or what's going on um, and why they're getting pictures done. And once you know that, I think you can navigate it much differently. Some people call you because you have a sale, and then you know that like they're coming in through like a sale revenue side, and that's where the conversation is going to be at first, and then you're going to have to move them over to like the enjoying your family pictures type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Or if they're calling because like somebody could be sick, there's a million reasons. Like we get a lot of phone calls like that their parents have passed, like in the last you know 3-4 months, and it makes them think about pictures and appreciate it. And when you know why they're calling you, it just makes them much. Then you know where the conversation starts.
Sure.
So that's what I try to find as the catalyst for the phone call to begin with.
Yeah, and I think that's a great tip. One of the things that we try to find most often is what in actuality they're looking for. We have lots of people who call and are like, oh, what's the price of your disc? Or what's
Hmm.
the price of your 8 by 10s?
Right.
And when you dig a little deeper, you find out that that's not even really what they're calling, or that's not even what they're ultimately interested
Well, I
in.
don't think very many people even know what to ask when they call a photographer because
Exactly.
most people have never shot photography, so they don't even know what to begin. So they come up with one question like a disc 8 by 10, whatever it is. And that's all they got. But it's not because that's what they want to know. It's like that's all they got to start a conversation.
Right. Yeah. So we always try to steer the conversation away from that because, again, we're never going to compete on price. So we'll always say, I am so happy to answer all of your pricing questions, but let me just ask you a few questions first so that I make
Sure.
sure that we're on the same page. And then I can ask them questions like, tell me a little bit about your home.
Hmm.
Tell me about, you know, artwork that you have in your home. How is it displayed?
Right.
What colors, what colors are you using in your home? So now we're starting to get a visual of, do they have a big open concept place? Do they have lots of windows? Do they have, do they collect fine art? Do they like something modern? Do they like something, old, like old school?
Right.
So we could then start to interject like, oh my gosh, so maybe canvas is going to be perfect, or oh, you're going to love like our, old world frames that we have,
Right.
and we can start kind of steering them in the right direction and
And
setting the expectations
right. And
for them.
yeah, and I think a lot of people are like, well, I need to like tell my clients how awesome I am and stuff like that. But really, I think you just need to figure out like how to get to the conversation that they don't even know how to have with you.
Sure.
They really don't like. And so like if they say how much is your 8 by 10, like first thing is like, well, what are you using this 8 by 10 for or whatever?
Right.
Like is it a headshot as a family, whatever? And you can go down this path and really steer them into a conversation that is much more productive for everybody. But they just don't know what to ask because people don't know how to shop photography.
Exactly.